coming to you with an update for the channel and some change of plans that are happening. I'm down in Geneva at the airport at Jermac. Came down to work on the plane a little bit more, but minor change of plans. What's going to happen from here is I had the opportunity to pick up a Titan Tornado kit, the high wing version, that I did a walkthrough and walk around on early on in the channel's life. And the wing's been built and I've got everything picked up. So it was down in Florida. So I flew into Tampa. The owner picked me up. We did a quick inspection, checked it out. The kit is all there. So loaded up into a U-Haul. And then I spent the last 2 days driving from Florida to Ohio in that beast. So looked at the kit that was in his garage. He picked it up from another gentleman who had built several Titan Tornadoes before, and there were some unfortunate events that happened, but the current owner had thought he was going to build it and decided he wasn't going to, and so he's passing on the opportunity to me to be able to do that. So I drove that beast up the road from Tampa pretty much all the way to Austinburg. Kit's in the back, and I'm excited to start the inventory. There are some tools and some other things that go with it, so I will be going through it, doing the inventory and getting that all done. As you can see, the wing is mostly completed, so I'll be taking the wing and taking a fine-tooth comb to it, going through and just making sure everything is good and the construction was done properly. I'll probably have John or somebody at the factory go through and help me with that. And the fuselage is up there inside, the horizontal and then the vertical stabilizers are all in there. So, and then all the other parts and pieces are in all sorts of totes. So going to inventory that over the next tonight and tomorrow, and then once we get that completed, I'll start building the Tornado. Hopefully we'll get most of it done. We'll see how much I can get done in a couple of weeks down here, work my tail off on it, and then we'll go from there. The last 2 days have been a whirlwind, so I've been out at the airport working through all the stuff that came with the kit. Pretty excited about the kit. Talked with John a little bit. So this morning, I'm going to take the big old U-Haul down to the factory. Going to unload the wing and the fuselage and the totes and get that all set up. It's a beautiful night here in Austinburg, Ohio at the Titan factory. So after what seems like a lot longer than it should have taken, I am finally at the point where I'm ready to start building on the Tornado. It took several days to sort through all the tools and then work through all the packing lists and make sure that all the parts and pieces were here. There's a few minor pieces that are missing, but there's a few other pieces that I'm pretty excited to have that I wasn't planning on getting. A few of the goodies that were included were an Ivo prop, electric in-flight adjustable propeller, the mounts for the 912 IS Rotax, and then the exhaust system, manifold system for the Rotax. So those are all things that I'm planning on installing that motor, so they're all things that I'll use, and that was a good bonus. Kit's 99% complete. There's a few missing parts and pieces here and there, but it's nice that I'm at the factory so I can just be able to grab those off the shelf and pay John for those as I need them. But overall, pretty happy with the kit and the purchase, and excited to get ready to get building on it. This kit was originally purchased by Randy Sill, who was a Titan dealer and has built multiple Tornadoes. Unfortunately, Randy had passed away from COVID in 2021, I believe. I'd never actually had the opportunity to meet Randy, but his neighbor had bought the kit and was planning on building it, and then never got around to doing it. And so when I learned about the kit, I reached out and talked with the current owner, and he and I talked about it, and so I decided to purchase it. I talked with John at the factory, John Williams here at the factory, and he said that if Randy had built the wing, which had been started, that it would be a good wing, and that it would have been built correctly. So tomorrow, I'm going to sit down and start doing some checks on the wing. I pulled the bottom skins off. Randy did a lot of work on the wings, and I don't know that I'm going to use all the work that he'd put into it, but a lot of good work. I pulled the skins off this evening and you can see that they're sitting here. He dimpled all of the skins, and then he had planned on putting in, it looks like, fuel tanks in each wing. There's some bladders that also came with the kit, but he has all the internal piping run. You can see on the inside of the wing. He's got the electric flap motor installed. The aileron controls are also installed and good, ready to go. So I've checked all of those, all the hardware's there, everything's attached correctly. I'll be checking the washout tomorrow just to make sure the washout's correct on the wings, but overall so far, just from a quick glance, it looks correct. A couple of minor things I need to do. I need to put the tie downs, the tie down brackets into the wing and cut the skins for those. And then I also need to install the drop tank. He has a wing tank kit that he had purchased, so I'll grab the instructions and do that tomorrow. So top side of the wing is pretty much complete. Looking at the leading edge up, you can see that he dimpled all of the spots and was planning on using flush rivets. He did the same thing on all of the control surfaces, so the flaps and the ailerons are all flush rivets, and so they're nice and smooth, and planning on the skin. So on the top wing, it meets with a butt joint right there. It's nice and tight. I've pulled a few clecos out, but you can see that it's got a nice tight seam right there, so it's going to be a good fit. On the bottom side of the wing, same thing. He's gone through and he has dimpled all of the holes, and he's dimpled the skins so they match up. Initially, I was a little concerned when I unpacked the wing and we got looking at it. The bottom skins were laying over because they overlap the bottom part of the wing down here. They go underneath that skin right here, and these have been dimpled and those have all been counter drilled. So that skin will slide underneath that seam all the way across, and then those top skins, those bottom will be dimpled, and we'll use flush rivets all the way across. So the entire top and bottom of the wing will be flush rivets and will look really, really nice. I'm not sure how much it'll improve performance. It's a big wing, but it's definitely going to look nice with all those rivets flush mounted. The fuselage is all intact, ready to go. Some work's been done. The tires are on the rims. The Matco brakes have been installed on the main gear, and you'll notice that this is the standard tire that comes with the Tornado kit and the standard gear. I am going to replace the front gear, front fork, and make that, it's going to be a wider fork, and I'm going to run with the original tires for now, but it gives me the option in the future to upgrade to a little bit bigger tire for running it on a little bit more off airport gravel areas in Alaska and other places where I'll be flying. So so far the setup's pretty good. Some of the I'll take some pictures of the wider tires that I'm talking about out at the airport on a couple of Tornadoes that are out there. There's an option that I could upgrade the rear gear and go a little bit longer to give it some more ground clearance and to make it taller. But in this case, I think I'm just going to stick with the regular standard gear and just have the option to upgrade to the larger tires. While sorting through all the parts and pieces that came along with the kit, I found that it was easy to just mark them, put some tape on them with the part numbers. In some cases, I went ahead and zip tied some parts together and kind of put them in place so I kind of knew where they were to get them out of my road. So I've got the control stick, front and back, kind of just sitting there. They need to be installed, but they're together and sitting kind of in the general location. the timing of this project actually was about perfect. So this build trip, I was going to come down for 2 weeks and work on the center section for the T51 Mustang. Unfortunately, with some shop issues, the team has not got my center section built yet. So had I come down to build, it wouldn't have been ready for me to go. So it actually worked out that the kit for the Tornado came along, and that I ended up going down to Orlando or Tampa, just outside Tampa, to pick it up, and then 1,000 miles, about 1,100 mile drive, drove the entire kit up here, and then have spent the last just about a week going through sorting parts and pieces. Like I said, the first project I started on with the kit this evening, after getting everything sorted, was working on the control for the ailerons. So in this case, this was not moving very freely, and you can see that part of the reason for that was the powder coating had gone up to this bushing and was getting stuck inside, and it was causing it to bind. And then on the back side, when this hole was drilled for this end piece, it butted up against that bushing and it pulled everything tight, and so what happened is it wouldn't allow it to spin. So I sanded that end off a little bit, cleaned it up, took it down enough that that bolt would go in easily, and now it turns nice and easy for a nice smooth control.